Armand, with your experience training top youth teams and working at Incept, what gives the most chances for young athletes to succeed and move to professional leagues?
Physically, they hit a wall. Like basketball wise, I'm not like expert on this, so I'm not gonna talk about this. But if you're not ready for this, then you're gonna hit a wall because contacts are much harder. Players that get into you, they're like much tougher, bigger, stronger. They run really fast. And if you're not ready for this, these are details that we are not focusing on in year one because you're still like a very, very beginner. But if you don't build base in year one, then you're gonna apply some more in-depth methods in year two on foundation that do not like sustain like the work. It's gonna be like using a bazooka to kill a mosquito.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Basketball Body and Mind. Today, I'm really happy to have Armand Vincent with us. Armand is working in a highly respected basketball strength and conditioning facility called France National Institute of Sport, or it's called INSEPT. And there he trains top basketball players from France, and also he has been strength and conditioning coach for national teams of U18 boys, or maybe I should say teenagers, almost men, and U16 girls. Also, I have to mention another thing that we have been working together with Armand in Czech Republic. So we have known each other for quite a time, but also not only professionally, but also personally. We do have many great stories that will not be shared here. Maybe next time. Armand, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and this is actually the second time we are recording this. If somebody is interested to hear the first one, just let us know, and we will share that with you. Armand, with your experience training top youth teams and working at Incept, what gives the most chances for young athletes to succeed and move to professional leagues? I mean, it can be, you would say, maybe strength, maybe work ethics, verticality, wingspan, height. What is that gives the most chances?
Yes, that's a good question. First, I would go with like talent. Obviously, talent, like how you play, the basketball IQ and everything. You have to be special in one way or multiple ways, but you have to be special. That makes the team wants to pay you. So that can be for a basketball IQ, that can be for rebound, that could be for defense or anything else. But in my like world, which is like the strength and conditioning, I would go with work ethic. It's like you show up like consistently, you do the work consistently with the intention, and this is the most important part because you can be some days up, some days down for a basketball, but your work ethic and the way you show up to the weight room, the way you show up to the practice, the way you do the small things, this doesn't have to change. And for me, this is the best thing you can rely on. This is like for sure, that's only you put the work in, and you can like rely on this daily.
Okay, you mentioned small things, I think, or
Yeah,
little things. What do you mean by little things?
it's just like how you like get to sleep, what time you get to sleep, how you hydrate, how you eat. As like these are like really small things, but adding on and on and on, it builds like a very good base. And this is the most important part. Like you don't have magic pills like massage gun or let's say normatic or anything. This is
Yes.
like this is not magic pill. you
Yes.
have to
And
you have to be good at the base, like the very basic things, and like don't try to be like find the magic pills. Like that's the only thing that I have to say is like
And in your experience, is it often combination? Like, do you see it often combination of talent and someone who's consistently doing those little things, or you think it's not really correlated? Like in your experience?
I don't think it's correlated because I have like talented guys that also are like very consistent, do the job, are very already professional. That's the word, professional. And then I have like other guys that are very talented but they don't care, and on the other side less talented player, which is like we still have some talented players at the incept, like less talented, like they are less talented compared to other players, but they still like do the work, and sometimes that the thing that can like save them, save a career, and make them like to the next step to the professional world.
Yes, I really liked what you said. Like, that's the word professional, because I don't remember who said that or where I heard that, but they say two coaches are talking, like strength coaches are talking to each other. And one coach texted the other strength coach because they just bought a player from that team to his team. And he said, "How is that guy? How is everything?" And the other coach responded, "He's professional." So
Yeah,
then the other coach was, yeah, okay, I know he's taking care of the sleep, nutrition, those all little things. So when you said professional, yeah, this is what
yeah,
got
that's
into
the
my
world, that's the word.
yes. And in incept, I would like to talk a little bit about the incept. So now, very specifically, if I understand, you have players there for 4 years, right?
Three,
Three
three.
years.
The main part of the players are here for 3 years, sometimes for four if they're like taken with 1 year before, or 2 years before, or if there is like any special case, you can be still be there like 1 year after. But it's basically the 3 year of high school in France. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then to set, if somebody doesn't understand exactly what it is, so I'll try to describe and you tell me if that is correct. So INSEPT is the facility that youth basketball players, if it's 3 years, so then let's say it's age 16 to 19 or 15 to 18, are training basketball, strength and conditioning. They play the games in third highest French league, and I mean, obviously they go to schools. This is correct, right? What I said?
Exactly. So you're here for your 3 years from 15 to 18, as you said. First year is very special because you're like only with the first year guys, and you're playing under 18 elite championship in France. So you're playing other, let's say, professional clubs and everything. They do have like under 18 teams, and you're like playing against them. Second year and third year, you like are both mixed together, and they're playing, as you said, the third professional division in France. Yeah, school as well. Like they do have like basketball, but they also have school, which is like very high demand. Like they're like the day in the life at the INSEP is very like very busy. Tough schedule. You get morning school, then practice, then afternoon school, then practice, then maybe school again, or some homeworks to do and everything. It's very like very intense.
Okay, so how often? Let's take the first year student who is under 18 playing an under 18 team, and how often do they train like strength, basketball skills, and basketball team practice? Is it daily? Is it every other day? How do you do that?
Yeah. So we have on the like one game week, because we also have like 2 games a week, but 1 game week we go Sunday to Friday. Saturday is usually off because Friday is the game. So we have one practice on Sunday. On Sunday, we have one team practice on Monday, plus one like more skill individual practice. Same for Tuesday. Sometimes we have two practice. Sometimes it's the same as Monday, so one and one. Then Wednesday is only one because afternoon is only for school. Then Thursday is usually one because we have game on Friday. And I do have them basically every day for strength and conditioning. Beside Saturday, Saturday is completely off. But beside this, I have them like from Sunday to Friday. Even on game days, like home game, we're trying to lift. Otherwise, like every time they travel and everything, we cannot lift. And sometimes it's like we have a lot of hole in the week.
Okay, so if it's put in a smart way and well adjusted, you
Hmm.
guys are training strength training,
Exactly.
I would say 6 times a week. Like
Exactly.
it depends on the game, whether it's two games or whether it's one game, whether it's
Yeah.
away or a home game. But you can train even 6 times a week, and
Exactly.
guys are responding well, even if it's 6 times a week, right? Like you're
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
performance is still going up.
Yeah. Like we are training like 6 times a week, but depends what you put inside. Like sometimes it can be like more intensity, sometimes less, sometimes like more hypertrophy based, sometimes more upper body based. We just adapt it, and usually the guys responded pretty well. If there is some adjustments to do, then we'll do it, and save the guys for let's say a lower body if we have like a sprint session the day after or anything like this. Yeah, we are trying to like have them as much as possible, more frequently, as I really believe that frequency is a very important factor in practice. But we then adapt obviously in the in the week.
So you train top athletes in France at that age. We're still talking about the first year. What are you looking in them? What would you like to see them? I mean, maybe you test vertical jump and there is a standard that you would like to see, or you conditioning, doing some conditioning tests that you would like to see. What are you looking in them?
Yep. So first, we as a first year guy, you will enter, and we are trying to give you the good habits. How do you like drink? How do you sleep? How do you eat? Like properly. Then we have some dedicated department. Let's say we have like a nutrition department, which will go like more in depth and like follow the guys more frequently and everything. And then and for like what is my concern is how do they like behave in the weight room first, like how do you like read a session, clean the weight room, like very basic things. But we are like 50 guys in the 50 guys and girls, like 25 guys, 25 girls in the same weight room. Like you cannot leave a mess after your session and everything. This is like how do you behave in the weight room, how do you like weight and weight safely. And this is like these are like the basics, some like rules that we have all year long. Once it's learned, then it's very easy for us to navigate through the system for the like following years. And then we have obviously like how do you squat properly, how do you hinge properly, how do you do like every pulling pushing movement very like clean. And so we can like rely on this movement and rely on the learnings that we taught you during the first year to build a base for the second and then third year, and then for the I hope the rest of the career. But like 3 years at this age is very condensed. These are like the basic stuff.
Yes.
On the physical testing side, we do have like a conditioning test. We use the 3015 IFT from Martin Bichet, and
And
I
what are you looking into those?
yeah, exactly. So from the first year, we came up to the conclusion that if you are like a
And
wings
maybe
or
for someone, I'll just interrupt you,
yeah,
sorry. For someone to understand how it works, it's very, very similar to yo-yo test.
exactly,
You just have, it's performed on the basketball court. You are performing at certain speed based on the sounds. You have
exactly,
to perform runs. You run for 30 seconds up and down for as speed as it says on the on that let's say audio file, and then you rest for 15 seconds. Then next round you're going a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, and eventually until you cannot run as fast as the sound is, so then you are completed. So
exactly.
continue.
So let's say for like forwards and guards, I'd like a certain value from first one, which is like let's say over 20, you're good to go. This is not like the limiting factor for the next year and then the year after, because from the first year to the second and third year, the density of the games and even the density of the game itself, not how many games, but the game itself really changed. You are like from first year like playing against under 18 guys, second year you're playing against professionals, and the demand of the game is very different. So let's say if you were like over 20, then you're good to go. This is not the limiting factor. Under this, then we might gonna have some issue with how you recover in between games, in between weeks, in between months, in between practices and everything. Yeah.
And if somebody wants to, like, you see that somebody's, let's say,
Mhm.
18 kilometers per hour on that test and he's not scoring 20 or she's not scoring 20, what, like, how would you improve that? What extra conditioning drills would you give them to do?
Yeah. So most of the time, as time is very constrained, we are trying to add top-ups. As you said, extra conditionings, very short, but guys run, and it can be like longer, shorter intervals and everything. But usually that's how we do top-ups for the guys who don't meet the standards yet.
So you would give, I don't know, what, 5 chord sprints, 10 chord sprints, or you would give like jog for 20 minutes? What would
Depends.
be something
It,
that
it
you
really
would give?
depends. Some guys are coming with the like knee injuries, and top-ups are gonna be like on the bike, and it's gonna be, let's say, like 40 second on, 30 seconds, 20 seconds off, for example. And or if I want the guy to like have more sprint and everything, then it can be on the court, and basically the same thing. If I want guys to run upside downs to meet the mechanical demand, if I want the guys to have less mechanical demand, then it's gonna be around the court. It really depends on individuals. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so then I just summarized this for someone. Um, if what you said is, if you are playing, let's say, 30 minutes a game and you still feeling that you're very fatigued, meaning like you want to improve your conditioning, as Armand says, like it would be better for you sit on the bike and improve your conditioning while sitting on the bike. You can still work on your endurance, but you will not be stressing your knees and other joints for the load. So 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. If it's very, very tough for you, it was like very tough game, maybe you will go vice versa. Maybe you'll go 20 on, like very hard pedaling, and 40 seconds easily. But you can still train your conditioning. Even though you're a high minute player, you just have to put it smart. And then for somebody else, if you want to improve your conditioning, maybe at the end of the sessions, you do some of the sprints. Maybe do, if it's very hard session, you do, let's say, 3 minutes of sprints with like you sprint for, say, 10 seconds, 20 seconds off, or you sprint 3 chords and then rest for 10 seconds. So, or you can do, as you said, like around, if you want to have less strain on your knees, you can run around the court without like sharp changes of direction, right?
Yeah, yeah, it can be like this. And the tricky part about guys that are like under conditioned is like for a given amount of work, they will feel more fatigue because it's more taxing on the body. And from this is the answer is not always more and more and more. Like sometimes is let the body rest, then we're gonna hit harder the next day. But rest is very important, so we don't have like top ups like every day we go hard, every day we go hard. It can be like you have a day off like everyone, but on hard days, then it's gonna be harder for you.
Okay.
Depends.
Okay, very, very well said. That will not get into concept of keep high days high and low days lows. But if you need a day off, and if you have a day off from the team practices, maybe keep that day for recovery,
Exactly.
and not train extra hard on that day, because maybe it would be better for your body to rest on that day, and then when everyone is going heavily training on like team practice strength training, so then you go extra hard because you need to improve your conditioning.
Yeah, exactly. And like
Yes.
usually I'm trying to play with the like all the methods that I have. So maybe on a basic week we have like it can be like short intervals, long intervals, and then we have like a more long session when you were on the bike for, let's say, 30, 50 minutes. Sometimes it's shorter but more intense. I'm trying to fill the buckets like with all the methods that I have with me, and not stick with like yeah, this like the 30-30 is the best methods to develop conditionings and blah blah blah.
Yes, like if I would come back to the very beginning what you said, I just want to point out to everyone, like when I ask you what are you looking, like in terms, like I was talking about like conditioning, vertical jump, movement, you started to talk about you're a strength coach, but you started to talk about habits, about nutrition, about the sleep, and then you didn't even mention like strength. You talked about the how to clean the weight room, how to be like a person who takes care of the thing, take care of the things that he or she is using, meaning like you clean up after yourself. So I thought is something worth mentioning because you're a strength coach and you're pointing out these things. Like it's important for you,
It's very,
like for
very
not
important.
for you coach, but for you player. Very
Exactly.
important. And very shortly, could you like touch a little bit about the strength? Is important strength like to be physically strong, meaning like I can do like 20, let's say, chin ups, I don't know, 50 push ups, squatting 100 kilograms. Is that important for basketball?
In my opinion, it is. It is still important, yes, but like basketball is a very versatile sport, meaning you have to be like it's not like powerlifting. Like powerlifting, you have to be good at squat, bench press, and deadlift. Basketball is not like this. So you have to be
Okay.
able to be strong, but also to be fast, but also to be conditioned, and also to be endurance and yeah. So it's multifactorial. But yes,
Yes.
strength is obviously a foundation of what we do in those years. Like first, like under 18 years, it's obviously it's a foundation for us. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Okay. And then if you, not you, but the players are moving from this youth under 18 to the professional leagues, what they should focus on, because on the year 2 and 3 that you said they're playing now at the third highest league and they're playing against the men, what should they focus on when they are there to help them to have that transition smoother?
I think the interesting part of the INSEP is that from your second under 18 year, because you're still under 18, you're like 16 or 17, but still under 18, you're like matching against professional, and like those that are not ready for this, they hit a wall. Like physically, they hit a wall. Like basketball wise, I'm not like expert on this, so I'm not gonna talk about this. But if you're not ready for this, then you're gonna hit the wall because contacts are much harder. Like players that get into you, they're like much tougher, bigger, stronger. They run really fast, and if you're not ready for this, then you realize you're not ready.
So how can they be ready? Like they need to train physically, like gain muscle size, or they need to have like super like good conditioning, or they need to have amazing basketball skills.
Uh, I would
What
say
would help them the
I, I,
most?
I would say like all three of them because like conditioning
Oh
wise,
man, it's tough for you. It's tough for everyone then.
because everyone has to be conditioned to play this level, this amount of game. You have to be ready conditionally. But these are the things that you're preparing from the year one. That's why we are like trying to build some habits from you, so you can build up massive muscle. You can be more conditioned, and then you can be more ready for year two and then year three. Because the idea would be like you would get more minutes in year three than in year two because you're like more obviously experienced and everything. But yeah, like strength is obviously very important to build us all those qualities. Then you have to be like conditioned because otherwise you're not like lasting. You can do one game, you can do two games, but the season is very long. And then you mentioned muscle as well because you have to be protected against all the contacts, and yeah, guys are bigger, so obviously contacts is very harder. So yeah, those three are very important. Yes,
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's tough when like if somebody young is coming to play against the men, and men can have like maybe 20 extra kilograms, which is like 45 pounds extra, and they on top of that they have experience of maybe playing at that level for 10 more years. So at least if they could bring the physical level a little bit higher, they will
exactly,
not match it, but they will bring it higher. And by
exactly,
far, they will not be able to match their experience because it will be year one for them against someone
exactly.
who is year 10. So, but I think this is just my personal opinion. Actually, it's not only personal opinion. One basketball player was talking to me that when he was young, we were working with him in Czech Republic. He said, when I was young, and young he meant like 18, 19 years old, before moving to the professional league, he said, I was crazy about the weight room. I would did everything. I would go extra hard. He had very good bounce. He was strong. He was fast. And he said, when I went to the men's league, I saw that my physicality was kind of okay. I was not the weakest. I was not the strongest because I didn't have such mass. He's like point guard, uh, number one, number two. And he said, but then I saw that my physicality is there, but my skill level is not there. So he said, instead of me at men's team, at professional league, focusing on the strength, I could devote most of my time on the basketball, on the skills, on the team, learning the plays, everything, because I already have the strength level. So he said, for me, it really, really helped that my physical level was high. And now, if you would like, maybe comes to your mind, like, of course, it will depend who struggles with what. But is there like when you see somebody from year one going to year two and three, do they struggle mostly with physicality or with basketball?
Um, I, I would say basketball. I would still say basketball because like
Personally,
this
or as a team they cannot like play well, like they don't know the plays and stuff like that, or like
mm,
just making turnovers, not catching the ball and dribbling badly.
I mean, every year is like you have different players. So obviously, the beginning of the year is very difficult for the INSEP team. But I'm just reminding it. But it's like development team. So we're not here to win the championship and everything, but still like exposing the players to high level and high game demands and professional players. But like in my opinion, they still like struggle more with basketball because game is going faster. A mistake can cost much more than it did in under 18, and they're still struggling with the physical part because they might be like the best, the most athletic player, the faster player, the guy who jumped higher in under 18, but it's no more the case in the professional league. But they still can run fast. They're still young, so they still have like a lot of energy, and this is like this. It still helps them to compensate the basketball mistakes and maybe the mismatch and the weight the weight disadvantage and the size disadvantage and everything. So I would still go with the basketball part, even though like they would be like they're like beaten by bigger guys. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And you said that they were fast at and strong at U18, and maybe it was their superpower
exactly.
that they were physically strong and they were bullying people in the post and strong, and then they come to the men's league and the superpower is lost. You
Yeah,
cannot rely
exactly,
on that anymore. You have to find another superpower,
exactly.
or as you said, like your superpower will appear from the consistency of the things that you mentioned, like those daily habits that you are doing, the work ethics that you do every single day. One more question that I would like to touch with you is I would like to talk a little bit about the differences, specifically, like maybe you could share like some training principles that you have for talking about the weight room now, and the differences of training principles between age, let's say year one and year two, three. What should the kid focus on when they are coming to the weight room at first? And what if they are progressing? Should they keep doing the same things, or should their training program change somehow? In order, like we're talking just about the basketball players, but what would be the principle? Key defining, like not defining, different principles for those age groups.
I would still go with like first year you're coming, you might be a good like basketball player, but you're still like a very, very, very beginner in the weight room. So like you can be an expert in your sport and be a beginner in the weight room. So what works for a beginner is pretty much everything. So like work on your basics, like
Tell the
squatting,
basics. Okay.
deadlifting, pushing, pulling, vertical pull, vertical push, horizontal pull, horizontal push. Learn how to move well in the weight room from my point of view. Like learn how to move well in the weight room, and this will build the foundation for what will happen in year 2, year 3, which is much more like individualized. What do you need more? We may have like I don't know, like maybe like 70% of the program is the same for everyone, and then we have some touch based on you need more muscle mass, you need more strength, you need more eccentric strength. Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
Um, but these are details that we are not focusing on in year one because you're still like a very beginner. But if you don't build the base in year one, then you're gonna apply some more in-depth methods in year two on foundation that do not like sustain like the work. It's gonna be like using a bazooka to kill a mosquito. Like
Okay, so on year one, you would do more of the basic things. In
exactly,
translation, like
exactly,
vertical pull would be like pull ups, T-Rex rows would be
exactly.
horizontal pull, vertical press would be like dumbbell press, like overhead, and push ups, squats,
Yeah,
deadlifts. Learn the basic movements. Okay, so
exactly.
then how would you individualize, meaning what kind of changes would you make for that year two, year three? Would they jump more? If we're talking about the hypertrophy, they would do more repetitions. Is there anything else? Like, how would you specialize that program for them?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, we can have like guys that are like very small, usually guards. They're smaller. They need to adapt to more athletic guards in the professional league, and later on, obviously. So they'll need to build more muscle mass on the upper body, let's say, as well on the lower body, and they will have like a dedicated part of the session. So let's say even at the end of my strength session based on strength, then I will have like a block for them for hypertrophy. Some guys are like bigger guys. He will need the more speed. I'll start with the speed. Let's say it can be like horizontal speed or vertical speed, meaning like jumping and everything. We'll start with this, and then we have the command part as everyone. Let's say the strength part. So we are like have a command part for a given day, and then we had some details like based on what I think would be the best for them and what let's say the how a test will say.
Okay, so then if I will summarize in one sentence for everyone, try Instagram exercises after 1 year of strength training, like doing the basics. Don't try it like right away on the year one.
Exactly, exactly.
Exactly.
I don't know if I still use Instagram exercises on year two and year three, but master the basics first. Yeah, and we still have
Yes.
the basics in year two and three. Like they're
Yes.
the basics for a reason. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's jump to the last part, which is fire questions. So you need to answer those questions as short as possible. It
Okay.
can be a word, it can be yes or no.
Okay.
This is the most difficult part. Some
Very
like
difficult.
nobody knows the questions, but
Okay.
if you would like to touch something later and explain something, we can do it. But for now, I just want you to be as short
Okay.
as possible. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so first question is completely days off, yes or no?
Yes.
Foam rolling before or after workouts?
Before, but not mandatory.
Okay. For age 12 to 14, strength training or movement variability training?
Strength training.
Okay. Can you have a good lifting session without sweating?
Yes. Never happened, but I guess yeah.
Okay. Muscle soreness is an indicator of a good workout, yes or
Ah,
no?
no, 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 not for me.
Okay, better recovery next day. I mean, after a game, if somebody played many minutes, so better recovery would be active rest or passive rest.
Passive rest for me.
Should you're answering for the players, right? Not for yourself, but
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
just
yeah,
your
yeah,
answers. Okay.
yeah.
Should basketball player take 1 2 weeks off, completely off in off season?
Yes.
Interval training or steady cardio to improve basketball conditioning, like basketball game conditioning.
Interval training.
Okay. Training 2 times a day, yes or no?
A basketball or strength?
Basketball.
Yes.
Okay, in the weight room?
Oh, also, yeah. If I do have time yet, that's some things I do with the kids. Yeah.
Okay. Should basketball player focus more on the lifting more or lifting faster?
Lifting more year one, lifting faster year three.
Okay, so this one is a little bit tricky. It can be longer answer, but this is the last one that I have for you. What each basketball player, in your opinion, should track? Meaning, what kind of assessment? If you could pick one assessment or one thing that they should track to be successful, what they would need to do or to track?
Very hard. With the one answer, very hard. Now, I would say your you how do you feel daily? How do you feel daily? I'll take care
Okay.
of the GPS and the RP stuff and everything, and you'll do the you'll do how do you feel every day. That's the only thing that you are aware of, and you can give me your like feelings on. So
Yes.
I would go with
Okay. I
this.
mean, this one is a tough question because
Yeah,
it's about everything. You can answer anything. You can answer like school, sleep, training, basketball, everything. So it's difficult, but I like what you said, like how you feel. I think Barcelona strength coach, football strength coach, in one interview like a while ago, I heard that he said we have all the data necessary to have. We can have anything we want, and still, I rely mostly on how do you feel.
yeah, exactly, exactly. We have all the
Yes.
GPS data. We have all the RP. Like players have the wellness questionnaire on the morning. But to be honest, like going into the weight room, saying hi to the players, how do you do, and everything, like talking with the guys, and like you will see those things.
Yes, yes. Okay, Armand. So now I'll try to do my best to summarize everything in three key points
Yeah.
from our conversation, and you let me know if I need to change, if I will need to change
Okay.
something, or you would like to add something. So first, what I understood, like personality matters, meaning you have to be like a person, as you were talking about the weight room, but personality matters in terms of that, but also that you are doing the invisible things,
Yeah.
which are taking care of the sleep, taking care of the nutrition, as you just said, talking to the strength coaches or other coaches and saying hi to them. It really matters to be
It does. Yeah.
successful. Second thing, what you said, like basics in terms of like strength training, basics are very, very important. That you would start from the basics that would lay the foundation for the future years which are to come. And third thing, if I would think, maybe it would be that you can combine like even though you said like completely days off are necessary, but you can combine hard training days and training almost daily if
Oh
you
yeah.
are doing it smart. Even high minute, if even if you play high minutes, you're playing a few times a week, a couple times a week, you still can have a few sessions, good sessions that you would keep training,
Yes.
meaning high minute players can improve, and you
Yeah.
cannot rely that all season you will be just maintaining your level, but you can still, with the smart actions, you can still improve your basketball, your
Yeah.
conditioning, your strength. Game is not an excuse for you.
No, definitely not.
Anything else to add?
No, nothing. I hope
Okay.
this video is better than the last one. I mean,
Anyway,
less
Armand, it
less
was
horrible.
both. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your experience at working at one of the, in my opinion, most of the, how to say, like very famous facility in terms of strength and conditioning. And France always have a great success in the basketball field. But if someone would like to contact you, what would be the best way to do that?
You can do it through Instagram, obviously. I do have a Twitter X account as well. Yeah, those are the main channels. Yeah,
Okay, so everything is in the show notes.
yeah.
And for everyone else, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode. This is the best way to support us. But for now, keep training basketball, body, and mind.